Welcome back to 9 Days Till the Mighty Nein. We have covered a lot of this exciting crew, eccentric crew. We've got Ford, Jester, Bo, Caleb, and Not the Brave all under our belt, which means one of our favorites is going to be a big part of today. We are talking, of course, about Mollymauk Tealeaf, the self-proclaimed cocky ringmaster, described by Molly himself that way in the Mighty Nein trailer. Now, quick disclaimer, I've given it every time. You know the drill. My name is Caitlin Tyrrell. I am one of the on-site critters of Temple of Geek, and I'm a huge fan of Critical Role, having started with Campaign 2 before going back to 1. It's what made me fall in love with this whole crazy world. That being said, when I talk about Mollymauk's backstory, especially Mollymauk's backstory, similar to Caleb, there's a lot I can't talk about. A lot of pieces of it are gonna potentially be huge spoilers for season 1 and even probably beyond. So we want to make sure that the experience for newer fans who haven't watched all of Campaign 2 is as exciting and surprising as it was for those of us who have. Please don't put spoilers in the comments if you want to talk about more of the pieces of Mollymauk's backstory that I'm not getting into. Hit me up on social. Always happy to talk Critical Role. So let's get into it. Mollymauk Tealeaf is played by Taliesin Jaffe, a Tiefling Blood Hunter. Their blood is used for a source of magic in their fighting and all of that pieces. It's going to be really cool to watch because it's a magic system we haven't seen played out in Legend of Vox Machina. So similar to Caleb's wizardry and using spell components, we're going to see a new magic style in how they animate it. Should be exciting. Fun fact, where Taliesin's character in Legend of Vox Machina is Percival DeRollo, Mollymauk Tealeaf was actually his idea of a backup character in case anything happened to Percy, which if you've watched Legend of Vox Machina, especially the first season, you know that was a real possibility. The Briarwoods were not playing. They were very convinced that the DeRollos should be done. Anyways, Mollymauk Tealeaf is a charming, cutting, and witty individual, and while that may sound similar to Percy, a really big difference for Mollymauk is the fact that he's much more flamboyant, where Percy tends to be reserved, but Mollymauk's also just more open, where Percy tends to be more closed off because of his trauma. Mollymauk doesn't have that same experience. Now, Mollymauk, don't get me wrong, does have trauma in his backstory, because every single member of the Mighty Nein has trauma in their backstory. They all need therapy. Trauma and tragedy, it just follows them where they go. But we're not going to talk about that today. What we are going to talk about from Mollymauk's backstory is his time in the Carnival, specifically the Fletching and Moondrop traveling Carnival of Curiosities. Say that 5 times fast. Mollymauk is not necessarily their ringmaster, although maybe he does play more of that role in the animated show. But in Campaign 2, he is a fortune teller and tarot card reader, with tarot cards that he was given by his mentor, Lystera, the past fortune teller of the Carnival, and added his own to the deck as is tradition. The fortune teller tarot card reader aspect is an important part of his character, in part because he uses it to try and entice people into the Carnival, because like our world, the Carnival is not necessarily doing a great job financially. Some of this is about fear, some of it's about probably financial issues in Wildmount. I'm sure we'll find out more in the series, but he uses his tarot card and fortune teller skills to try and entice people to the show, where he can use his other magical skills in the show along with people like Toya with a voice that can even charm monsters. So Mollymauk is a carny at heart, a showman at heart, and a bit of a charlatan. How he fits into the Mighty Nein as a whole. Ironically, you would probably think he'd be the best team member because he himself is part of a group with the circus or the carnival, where Bo's very much a loner, Jester's been very sheltered. Ford, similarly, probably would be a good teammate, but Caleb and Not tend to stick together. However, Mollymauk has his family and maybe didn't choose the Mighty Nein as the next group he wanted to join. So he tends to, yes, fall into the role of the face, similar to Ford, because he has his own charm and ability to talk his way out of problems, talk his way into negotiations, and make sure that it benefits him. But he may not be as excited about this group of chaotic random people as some of the others could be. Like, probably Jester. Jester's the one I would say is probably excited to have a random group of people as potential friends, given her isolation. One of the most fun aspects of Mollymauk's personality is the fact that he tends to tease and poke at a lot of the other Mighty Nein members, especially people like Beauregard, who are very prickly and tend to have kind of a hard time with how he's going to poke fun at her. Now, I know you're going to want more of Mollymauk. I don't think I've met a single person who saw Mollymauk on screen and went, I don't need more of him. That was fine. You're going to want to know more about this character. And his Mighty Nein Origins graphic novel is worth the read. Ton of fun, great art, and you get to see a lot of his early days in the Carnival, along with get a real understanding of his personality and what he believes, because he's very much someone who's going to seem a little bit like a charlatan because of maybe our own expectations of what a tarot reader or fortune teller is, but at the same time, he is someone who inherently wants to put good out into the world. It just might not be in the way that you or I would anticipate. Worth a read, very good, cool understanding of this very eccentric character, but huge spoilers. Book is going to start with a big spoiler. So this is one that's similar to Caleb's or Knott's or even Ford's. I would put a pin in, at least after season 1, if not potentially longer. So this is one to add to your TBR list instead of cracking open immediately. Probably check out Beau or Jester if you're wanting one right now, or even some of the past stories with the Vox Machina origins or the Vox Machina novels. But I digress. Mollymauk is a ton of fun. I can't wait to see how he kind of ingratiates himself with this random weird group with the Mighty Nein. I wouldn't be surprised if he takes a bit of a leadership role, but also more of a like teasing older brother type of role with it, because he is someone who does have a bit of a leadership mentality about him with the Carnival and his desire to care for those he cares about, but not necessarily leadership in the sense of we should go this way, I'm in charge. So it'll be probably a very fun dynamic. Now, if you want even more Mighty Nein content, make sure you watch our past episodes of 9 Days Till the Mighty Nein. We've also got a few more days left until Mighty Nein premieres on Prime Video, so be sure to come back here for more episodes. For more Critical Role content, we've got interviews and articles that are definitely worth a watch and a read. We also have tons of other fun, geeky, nerdy news and entertainment through Temple of Geek that are worth checking out. And make sure you like and subscribe to this video. If you're so inclined or want to talk with me more about Mighty Nein and all the craziness of these characters, give me a follow on social media. I'm always happy to talk with other critters.